What do you got going on here with these problematic customers?
Rich, how you doing, brother?
What's up, man?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Got a really big customer of mine. But my question is, they're a top 5 customer. I'm in the industrial and hydraulic hose fitting business, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
When, in your estimation, no matter how much they're doing with you, when is it you're not worth it? I mean, the demands on my time, 60 to 80 hours a week, but it's a $200,000 a year customer. Does it
Mm.
ever get to a point where you say, there's other customers out there, you
Oh
guys
yeah.
got to go,
Oh
I
yeah,
can't
yeah, yeah,
take
yeah.
this anymore?
One thing that you got to get good at is firing people in your life, and that includes customers. There's a chapter in my book, Hire Slow, Fire Fast.
Absolutely.
Same
I've
thing
read it and
applies with
had it on
customers.
Audible.
Same thing applies with customers, man. If you have a shitty customer and the juice is not worth the squeeze, it's totally fine to tell them to get lost. You can deliver that message whatever way you see fit, kinder or harsher, but why would you invite terrible customers into your business when you should be spoiled for choice? I mean, you should have more than just that option. Same thing applies with women, right? I mean, a lot of this stuff that I've talked about applies to many different facets of a man's life, right? So you got a customer that's not worth it, get it. Like, would you tolerate an abusive girlfriend? Generally speaking, most guys wouldn't, right?
Right.
You get rid of her, get lost, take your shit, locks your change on the front door tomorrow, get out of here, take your cat and go, right? Why would you tolerate a shitty customer?
What if it's a very small business with a very large customer? It's
Then
that
you have a
200.
problem. Then you have a
Right.
problem because
Yeah.
then that customer has you wrapped around their finger and they probably know it. So you
Correct.
need more customers, or you need to modify the business model so that situation doesn't happen. There's got to be a way to do it. I mean, you can take a look around your industry to see what your competitors are doing. You can take a look at a similar industry to see if they've applied a similar solution to what it is that you're doing. So, to share a story, like the software that I talked about earlier when we did the pivot, I got from a company in Florida, and it was tailor made to an American program for debt relief that we had them customize for us for the Canadian marketplace. So I basically R&D, rip off and duplicate, took it from them, applied it into my business with the modifications, and then boom, we just kind of ran with it. So, I mean, there's any number of things that you could possibly do to solve this. But again, this is more or less just a mindset thing. Like, how do you shift from, dealing with one big fish in your tiny pond of a business that is basically feeding you, to getting a whole bunch of fish, maybe slightly smaller fish or maybe bigger fish, but getting a bunch more fish, from a larger pond, growing the business.
That's what we've done. Before we made the decision to cut loose, we've gone out and garnered other business, so it's not so hurtful. And
Right.
you're exactly right. They know it, and they think that they have you by the guts, for lack of better terms. Like, well, he
Mm-hmm.
has to do it or else they'll go out of business.
Right.
And
And
I don't want to live my life and my business like that.
and that's exactly the point. I mean, see, a lot of people think that, being an entrepreneur is sexy and glamorous, but I mean, you can put yourself in a situation where you build a business that you hate because you tolerate nonsense. There's a video that I did on my channel. I was driving up when I was going to do some snowmobiling, and I played a clip from Tony Robbins, who I'm not a big fan of, but he was absolutely right when he was talking about raising your standards. And if you raise your standards in life with the kind of customers that you want to deal with, if you're an entrepreneur, then you just make sure that you do everything possible to hit those standards, which means that you're going to have to change. You're going to have to change the way that you do things. You're going to have to change the way that you market. You're going to have to change the way that you maybe invoice or bill or run this structure that you're running right now. But that change will get you towards where you want to go if you're clear on where you want to go.
Right. Yeah. I don't want to be owned by a
No.
customer.
What's the point? I mean, like the whole point, like, I mean, if being an entrepreneur is so sexy and fun, then make it sexy and fun. Like, don't be somebody's bitch.
And you're exactly right. I've had so many people come up to me and look at my lifestyle, my cars, how I live, and they're like, "Oh, that must be great, Andy. You own
Yeah.
your own business." No, it's not. In a
Yeah.
tiny company like ours that does about $1 million a year in gross, they own you. You don't own that company; it owns you.
That's Andy. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's one of the points in the modules that I've got in my course for this entrepreneur's mindset is about 98 point something, like 0.7% of businesses never do more than $1 million a year in sales. So a lot of people will go and create a business. They'll call themselves an entrepreneur. They'll say that they're self-employed, but all they've really done is they've built a business that now employs them, and they essentially have the same compensation structure as if they were working with a competitor that does the same thing, but now with more liability, because now somebody can sue your business and now you have to deal with that bullshit, or they can pierce the corporate shield and go right for your property or do other things to you. So, you want to make sure that if you're going to take on the risk of an entrepreneur and get in that sort of business, that you don't put yourself in an environment where it's like, I'm getting paid $100,000 a year to do something I could go and work for somebody else at and check out the clock at 5 o'clock and go home and be with my family or do whatever. But now I'm working all weekend in the evening. I'm not sleeping at night. I've got this legal issue that's going on. My taxes are behind. There's all kinds of new problems that you build. So in closing on this conversation, Andy, there's two ways that you can run a business. There's a guy called Joe Polish. I've mentioned it before. There's a video on my channel. I talk about the difference between an ELF business and a half business. ELF is easy, lucrative, and fun. It's an acronym. Half is hard, annoying, lame, and frustrating. And by the way, you can apply this to relationships with women too. Wouldn't you rather have an ELF relationship with a woman than a half relationship with a woman? I do.
Exactly.
I don't deal with bullshit anywhere.
And in closing, this is exactly why when I was beta, I was working 60 to 80 hours a week to make this thing work.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I got for cheating is you're never around. I never get to see you. All you do is work, and I needed somebody to pay attention to me.
Right.
Oh, real sorry. I'm trying to support you and these two kids.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show that it does not matter how much money you make, what kind of lifestyle you provide. If you are not fulfilling her emotional needs, she's gone.
Yeah. Well, that's
in the beaten
sometimes
down
it's just some
horse,
shit women too, Andy. Right.
I know, but the beaten
there are
down plow.
to kind of like play like more on the positive side, because a lot of people complain a lot about women and shit. Like there are women there that will fucking have your back and stand by your side, but I mean, you really have to spend some time vetting them too, right? So it's like, you got to see how they deal with all kinds of stuff. But yeah, like it can go either way, and you don't have any control of that. So again, back to the point, if you're going to take on the risk of running a business and being an entrepreneur, why not think bigger? And why not build something that is an easy, lucrative, and fun business, not hard, annoying, lame, and frustrating? You've got a half business right now. Pivot it into a more fun business that serves you.
Got it. Thanks for everything, Rich. I really appreciate all you do for the community.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Thanks.
Take care.
See you, brother. Hey guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that short clip. If you did, consider supporting the creation of content by checking out my supplement line. Pinned in the top comment below of this video in the comments, there's a link to the unpluggedalpha.com/shop. When you click through, you'll be able to land over here, and the entire lineup is broken down by category that it performs best in: estrogen metabolism, fat burning, your foundational essentials for health, immune health, performance, and testosterone support. If you check out with coupon code ALPHA10, you'll get 10% off on your first order. There's also the option to use the subscribe and save model, where regular shipments will be sent over to you on a regular basis, and that gives you a little bit of a discount, and your supplement facts are always broken down over here. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And again, check out that link. It's pinned in the top comment below in this video. Peace out.